なるほどな。
Suspicious scent.
魔女じゃなく、ベアトリーチェという名の愛人が島に存在していたわけか。つまり、人間は18人以上いる。ということは、18人全員に不可能だから魔法犯罪であるという図式は崩せるわけだ。これは大きい情報だぜ。
失礼いたします。マトラ様、紅茶とクッキーはいかがですか？
Beato's butler, who called himself Ronove, appeared out of nowhere in particular. Placed upon the silver tray that he held was a plate filled with delicious-looking, steaming black tea and cookies. I really don't like this guy's smile. For some reason, it doesn't look like a smile used to warmly greet a guest. It feels like he's making fun of me for some reason. I don't know whether he takes me for an idiot, or whether it's just a joke or something, but it's really irritating me. He probably takes you for an idiot.
いらねえよ。俺は今取り込み中なんだ。放っておいてくれ。
おやおや、それは美味しく焼けたクッキーなのに、とても残念です。人間ごときにはもったいないくらいに素敵に焼き上がった。それは素敵なクッキーなのに。
You know, for some reason I'm getting goosebumps just from the way he speaks his tone. Just the way he speaks his tone of voice just causes me to have slight goosebumps. God, I'm getting flashbacks to, Kizami.
気が向いたら食ってやるぜ。その辺に置いて、とっととうせな。
さようでございますか。それでは、そのようにいたしますよ。冷めてからお召し上がりになって、焼きたてを召し上がらなかったことを、存分に後悔なされると良いでしょう。
いちいちうるさいやつだな。まあ、耳元で気色悪くケラケラ笑うベアトのやつよりゃ数段マシだがよ。
いえいえ、まったく。お嬢様の笑い声は時折実に品がありません。それを聞くたびに、なぜ私ほどの高貴な悪魔があのようなものを主にしなければならないのか、理解に苦しむのでございますよ。
変なやつだな。そんなに嫌なら使えなきゃいいだろうが。
それでもなおお使いするのが家具の喜びなのでございますよ。それでなくては家具は務まりません。それはさておき、ゲームの方はいかがでございますか？先ほど良い情報を見つけたようなことを言われ、お喜びになられていたようですが、はてさて、どのような浅知恵が思いついたやら。
As Ronove made fun of me and giggled, he followed my earlier words to the letter and placed the black tea and cookies somewhere arbitrary nearby.
お方、19人目の存在に自信を深めたからでございましょう。よろしければ、ぜひご考説をお聞かせ願いますか？
ああ、いいぜ。どうせベアトの前で改めて言うしな。隠す必要もないさ。いいか？この島に隠し屋敷があって、愛人を住まわせていたらしいんだ。となりゃ、俺を苦しめてきた18人なのか19人なのかって疑問は簡単に決着する。
マトラ様は魔女を否定するくせに、 18人の中にも犯人を求められないダブルスタンダードの袋小路に自らを追い込まれました。
魔女を否定する最も簡単な方法は18人の誰かを疑うことだ。18人全員のアリバイはそう簡単には揃わない。常に一人くらいはアリバイの脆い人間が生まれる。俺はそいつを生贄にすることで常に魔女を否定し続けることもできるだろう。しかしそれは断固拒否する。
And this is where you've been going wrong this whole time, Valor. I truly and honestly do not believe that someone outside of the 18 in the mansion is the culprit. I absolutely do not believe that someone outside of the 18 is the culprit. It's gotta be one of them.
ああ、ダメだぜ。全然ダメだ。18人はみんな俺にとって親たちや親戚たちやいとこたち、そして真面目だったり面白かったりする頼もしい使用人の人たちだ。俺はその人たちの誰を生贄にすることも許せない。かつて俺はその決意があやふやだった。だからその心の弱さをベアトに疲れたんだ。
自らの弱点を認め理解する、なかなかできることではありません。バトラ様は19人目が存在する説を槍にする。槍というよりは盾でしょうかな。いずれにせよこれまでのゲームでの無策と違い、戦い方に指針を持たれるのは劇的飛躍と申せましょう。これでバトラ様は敬愛する18人を疑わずに存分に19人目を疑い、人間犯人説を追求できるわけでございます。
そういうことさ。最初のゲームのカノン君が殺されたボイラー室とか、他にも19人目が存在していたなら迷う必要なんかないトリックはいくつもある。
In the very first game, Canon-kun had been killed in the boiler room. One might think that he was attacked by Kumasawa-san, who had gone down into the boiler room with him. Or maybe that someone who had appeared to be dead earlier was actually faking, and had ambushed Canon-kun in the boiler room. Either way, it was a move that forced me to suspect one of the 18. However, by simply proposing that a 19th person exists, there's no longer any need to suspect one of the 18 for that murder in the boiler room.
つまり18人の誰にも無理だからイコール犯人は魔女という図式だけは否定することができるわけさ。
Using this argument, we can take, for example, the question which has been raised once again in this game. Who gave Maria the letter? And come up with an easy explanation. Even if all 18 people have alibis, I can easily explain everything by saying that a 19th person visited her and gave her the letter.
ふむふむ。
Did you say Humu?
とても良い一手だと思いますよ。私だったらどう切り返しましょうか。たとえバトラ様が理解されたとしても未だに弱点は健在。18人攻めは有効な手でしょうね。バトラ様の守りがどの程度か確かめる意味でも改めてそこをつくのも面白いかもしれません。
Good question. Oh, I thought the purple spiral in the background was waving, kind of like they do in Earthbound, but it doesn't. Okay, I thought that was like a Earthbound battle screen where it's like slowly moving. Well, actually in Earthbound, it's a little bit... It's not that slow, actually. The battle screen waves in the background, they're not really that slow. They were actually pretty fast from what I remember. But no, the background does not move at all.
ならどう来る？悪魔の執事。
バトラ様が刺された19人目の駒を迎え撃つのが妥当でございましょう。
The song that's playing is Core.
バトラ様は19人目にお会いしておりませんね。19人目が存在する証拠をお願いできますかな？
アメーゼ。もちろん、その指し手で来るだろうことは読んでいる。
それは受け手をお願いいたします。
魔女だの悪魔だの、お前らにこれほどふさわしい一手はないぜ。それがこいつ、悪魔の証明さ。
When we humans are accused of something, we always counterattack by saying to show some evidence. Because that's a human move. But I'm fighting with a witch. I'm taking part in a battle with someone who isn't human. And some moves exist which can only be used in a game against a witch. There are cheat moves! And that's what this doubles proof is. Therefore, evidence is unnecessary. Let's take the assumption that there is a hidden mansion on Rokenjima, separate from the Uchiha family mansion, and that a woman named Beatrice is living there. In order to prove this, one must find this mansion and actually bring Beatrice out of it. That's called actual proof in the human world. However, if we follow the rules of the devil's proof, you can't disprove that she exists, even if there's no evidence that she does. Because it's impossible to prove that something doesn't exist. That's right. This devil's proof, which tormented me so much before, I finally managed to use to my own advantage. Those guys were always trying to force me to accept the existence of the witch by using the devil's proof. That was because, in response to Beato's professions that witches do exist, I physically could not offer any proof that witches don't exist. That is why I have been subjected to this nonsense that witches exist, and why I have been unable to counterattack. And that's why I'll flip over the chessboard right now. If I can't disprove that witches exist, then that means if I suggest that a 19th human exists, you can't disprove that either. In other words, the enigmatic mistress in question is carefully hiding herself, so it's perfectly natural that you can never find her no matter how hard you look. So, you can't say that the 19th person can't be found equals the 19th person doesn't exist. Therefore, it is impossible to disprove a 19th person. Beato used the devil's proof to make denying her existence impossible. But this time it's become my weapon. If we can get away with this argument, then never mind the 19th person. This island could be full of people we don't know about. And even if there are 10 or 100 of them hiding, she still can't disprove that they exist. In the last game, and the one before that, among the murder scenes that showed up, there were several that were extremely intricate, and must have taken a lot of effort to set up. it's very difficult to imagine that a single culprit could have set all those up. However, if not just a 19th person, but 10 or 100 people were hidden somewhere, that wouldn't be any problem at all. If they all split up the work, they could handle any job in a short period of time. Of course, doubts will naturally arise at whether a large group of people like that could sneak around the mansion without being noticed. But those are all settled by the devil's proof. Because not seeing or not noticing 100 people inside the mansion does not disprove that they were there. Even though I'm saying it myself, it's such a stupid argument that it makes me want to throw up. However, it's because it's such a dirty as hell move that it makes it the perfect one to use against a witch. Well, we're only imagining here, but the thought of about 100 suspicious men wearing goat masks hiding in the shadows, that goes beyond funny. It makes me think of cockroaches. If you see one, it means there's 100 hiding in the shadows.
まあ、へりくつまみれの暴論だとは思うぜ。相手が人間だったなら、寝言を言うなと怒鳴られるところだろうよ。だが、俺の相手は魔女だ。そして、俺たちがやってるのはそういう勝負なんだろう。どんな暴論であろうとも、人間で説明をつけ、魔女を否定する。とにかくこの一手で俺は二度と親しい18人のみんなを疑わなくて済む。俺は二度と前回の失敗は繰り返さない。
We still have about 5 games after this one, so I think you're gonna get crushed this chapter yet again.
なるほど。前回の失敗を学ばれているのですね。良いことですよ。さすがに3度もゲームを重ねると容量が良くなるものです。まずは自陣の守りを固める。実に堅実な処方です。なかなかの妙手と思いますよ。
まあ19人目の人物を仮定したとしても、マスターキーの本数などのように何人人間を増やしてもクリアできないトリックも残ってる。しかしとりあえずの初手としては悪くないはずだ。
バトラ様の切り札、19人目の人物という大駒。証拠はあるのかとの私の一手に、バトラ様は悪魔の証明で反撃。良い攻防です。お嬢様のおられないところで勝手に手を進めてしまうのは申し訳ないのですが、私も少し面白くなってきてしまったところです。お嬢様に代わりさらに一手進めさせていただきましょうか。
来いよ。魔女だろうと悪魔だろうと相手に不足はねえ。
バトラ様の刺された一手、悪魔の証明。これは私ども悪魔のお箱でございますが、他にも私どもにはいくつもの手がございます。ヘンペルのカラスという一手はご存知ですかね。
Hempel's Raven. And also, I am highly suspicious of you, Ronove. I'm really suspicious of Ronove right now, because he is helping us slightly, even though he's trying to talk on the behalf of Beatrice, his master. He is kind of more or less helping Battler in his arguments against her. For which gets me to wondering, is he making Battler fall for a trap? Or does he have his own ulterior motives? Because, as it may seem, he doesn't really seem to like Beatrice himself, so Ronove might be, assisting some other person than Beatrice. He might be having another master, or he's working on his own behalf. To make this interesting, I'm gonna state a quick little theory about who Ronove could be working for. I say he might be working with either Lambda Delta or Berncastel. I'm gonna go more to the side of, you know what? I'm gonna say that maybe he's working with Bernie.
ヘンペルのカラス？何の話だ？
Bad timing. Uh-oh. Organ short, number 600 million in C minor. Just then, that laugh, which gets on my nerves every time I hear it, started echoing around. Guess who's here? Beatrice! The room was filled with dazzling golden butterflies, and in the center of that whirlwind, the Golden Witch appeared.
これはお嬢様。おはようございます。
わらわのいないところで何やら面白そうなことをしていると思えば、ヘンペルのカラスか。なんとも笑える懐かしい一手よ。よもやバトラに披露する日が来ようとはな。それは悪魔の証明に並ぶ古典的一手だ。
お？
ロノウェ、それはわらわが指す一手ぞ。わらわの楽しみを減らしてくれるな。
出やがったな、ゲラゲラ魔女め。相変わらず下品に笑いやがって。こいつもお前のこと、笑い方に品がねえって陰口言ってたぜ。なあ。
それは心外な。本当か？
そうもない。心より尊敬申し上げているお嬢様に、この私めがどうしてそのような陰口を申せましょうか。
よくもシャーシャーと言えるもんだな。お前とは仲良くなれそうにないぜ。
まあよい。話を戻そう。ヘンペルのカラスは実証を待遇的に行ってみせる。つまりこういう手だ。カラスが黒いことを証明するにはどうすればいい？
Look at one?
は？何の話だ？カラスが黒いことを証明って、カラスを捕まえてきて色が黒いことを確認すりゃいいだけの話だろ。
その通り。カラスイコール黒いを証明すればよい。ということは、黒くない鳥イコールカラスではないを証明しても同じ論法になるのがわかるかな？世界中のカラスでない鳥をすべて調べ、それらが黒くないことを証明すれば、それは結果的に故に黒い鳥はカラスであるとなるわけだ。これを待遇論法という。そなたには難しいか？
ああ、まったく何言ってやがるのかさっぱりだ。
バトラ様、こういう例え話はいかがでしょう。 2つの箱があり、片方は当たりでクッキーが入っているといたします。もちろんもう片方は外れで空っぽです。
For example, let us say that we have two boxes here. One being the winner, with a cookie inside, and the other being the loser, which is empty. Now, it holds that if there is a cookie inside, it is the winner. And at the same time, it also holds that if it is not the winner, there is no cookie inside. When such a relationship exists, we call the latter the contrapositive. When, if A then B is true, then at the same time, if not B, then not A, is also true. What are we going into? Are we going into geometry? Are we going into proofs?
そりゃ当然だろう。もし選んだ方が外れだったなら、もう片方は自動的に当たりってことになる。つまり箱を適当に選び、当たりを引こうと外れを引こうと、最初の一手でどっちの箱にクッキーが入っているか特定できるわけだ。
その通り。開けた箱にクッキーが入っていたなら悪魔の証明を満たす。この箱は当たりイコールこの箱にはクッキーが入っているをまさに実証できるわけだ。
Oh, I get it. I understand what.
しかし開けた箱が空っぽだったならこの時は逆にヘンペルのカラスを満たす。
I see where they're going with this. Okay. Okay.
この箱にクッキーが入っていないイコールこの箱は当たりではないとなるのだから。そしてそれは箱が2つしかないことを前提としている限り、もう片方の箱が自動的に当たりであることを対偶的に示している。
まあなんとなく理屈は分かったぜ。毒を制するには毒、へりくつにはへりくつってわけだ。それで俺の島には19人目の人間が隠れているに違いないから、18人全員にアリバイがあってもそれは魔女を認めることにはならないをどう切り返してくれるってんだ。
よかろう。わらわの手は教えよう。まずそなたは18人の中に犯人はいないイコールならば犯人は19人目としている。
We're about to see a truth, aren't we?
ならば待遇としてこうなるわけだ。
No, we're not seeing one.
つまり犯人は19人目ではないイコールならば18人の中に犯人がいる。
Oh.
はあ？なんだと？それはどういう意味だ？
そなたの指し手を逆手に取っただけだがな。そう難しい話ではあるまい。ロノウェ、説明せよ。そなたのさっきのクッキーの箱の例えはバトラに分かりやすいらしい。
Yeah, this is a mind game, so that definitely is a good point for Beatrice. Honestly, yeah, I definitely was already seeing holes with Balor's theory because I'm still in the belief that 1 to 18 is the killer. Though, of course, Beatrice right now just, kind of helped me, explain my reasonings as to why I was not going to agree with Balor's Devil's Proof. So, yeah, Hempel's Raven, surprisingly, is a really good help, not to Balor, but to me. That still doesn't, help me at all in thinking, in the process of was the killer a human or a witch? That's when I'm still stuck, because I know it's one of the 18, but I still can't tell if it's either a human or one of the witches. Wait, no, Wait, what am I saying? All 18 are the humans, though, of course, Kenzo may or may not be a ghost, so... Well, he is a ghost. No, he is a ghost, and in my peak theory, I stated that he was dead, so Kenzo is a ghost. So it's gotta be... Okay, the culprit's one of the 18 who are seemingly alive. Because no one really knows, except for the ones who are on the inside, that Kenzo's dead. So, does that mean Kenzo's not the culprit? I'm still not putting him out of the running. I'm not putting Kenzo out of the running for the culprit, because I definitely have a bad feeling regarding the supposed mistress in the other mansion. I have a bad feeling about that, so Kenzo's still in the running for the overall culprit. But I'm not discounting any of the other 17 other than Goda. So we still have 17 suspects for the culprit. There's still 17 suspects for the culprit because the one person I've proven, well, not proven, but I'm gonna state is innocent. I've not proven anything. I keep on almost saying I've proven something when I have not. I have not proven anything. No. But the character that I am declaring for right now that I fully believe to not be a culprit is Goda. So I took one of the 18 out of the running for the culprit. I still have 17 more people to look into in regards to who the hell the culprit might be. But I digress. Hempel's Raven kind of fucks over Valor, but also helps me out. Well, I kind of knew that Valor was going to get fucked over, so I was not worried. But at the same time, I'm really thankful that Hempel's Raven was introduced.
それでは僭越ながら先ほどの例え話でもう一度ご説明させていただきます。
Oh, are we speaking as Ronove? Allow me to repeat once more my earlier story. About 2 treasure chests, one of which has a cookie in it. There were boxes, not treasure chests. In this situation, one of the boxes represents the 18 people, and the other box represents the 19th person. We're back to boxes. So, the cookie would represent the culprit. Battler Sama, you open the 18 box, because the cookie is not there. You have proven from the opposite direction that, therefore, the cookie is in the 19th box. In that case, if we reverse things further, we can also say the following. Namely, if it was first shown that the 19th box was empty, it would prove in just the same way that the cookie is in the 18 box. Battler Sama, this move you played in order to avoid having to doubt any of the 18 has in fact been used against you to launch the 18-person attack.
なんだと
わらわが19人目の箱の中身が空っぽであることを先に証明すれば、そなたは自動的に18人の箱の中にクッキーがあることを認めなければならないということになる。そなたはそれを逆の言い方で口にしたに過ぎんのだぞ。
つまり俺の自信満々の一手は同時に諸刃の剣でもあるってわけか。
Indeed. Also, wait, hold on. Okay. This is probably a question I should have asked much earlier on, but this question just appeared in my head. Why is, Beatrice so insistent to Valor that she is responsible for all this? Now, I know it may or may not be something involving the more belief that's been put into her will cause her to be more powerful, so she needs to have Valor to believe so that she can be super powerful. But at the same time, if that is not the case, let me think about it from the other angle. If that is not the case, then what is going on? what is Beatrice's motivation in trying to convince Balor that witches exist and that... Wait, did she ever say that she herself was the culprit? I think she's implying that she's the culprit and she's just trying to get Balor to believe in witches so that she can be more powerful. But if we go from the other angle that she is not, she just exists without, people believing in her. Well, she's more powerful when people believe in her, but... Okay, let's go to the counter argument of what I was saying earlier. So let's just say that Beatrice is just a normal witch who is just involved with the Uchiha family. Let's just say that she's basically the old mistress that Kenzo has killed, but then she's came back after he revived her. What is her end goal with her battle with Balor? Because if she truly was trying to, get revenge or something, like if she's going for a revenge plot, she would well, this is just an assumption, but wouldn't she tell Balor who the real culprit is? So that gets me to wondering. Basically, this is a long mind process that I'm trying to get to the exact question I have in my head. Does Beatrice actually know who the culprit is? That's basically the question I was trying to lead up to, but I was stumbling with my words because, well, I just am a little bit confused by Beatrice's motivations if her motivation is not, trying to get Balor to believe in her so that she could exist much more powerfully than she had before. So, that point of my argument, I can't really find anything that argues against the whole thing that she needs Balor to believe in her so that she can continue on existing and to become more powerful. But now, okay. Now I'm also on the mindset of, what is her end goal with all this? Like, does she want to be seen as the culprit? Like, is she the real culprit or is she not the real culprit? Or does she not even know who the real culprit is? So yes, I am practically questioning Beatrice's motivations right now, for which I think in this chapter we might get a little bit of an insight as to why Beatrice is playing this little game with Balor and why she is so insistent on getting Balor to believe that witches exist, and implying that she's trying to get him to believe that she is the culprit. I am focusing a lot on the culprit idea, but Beatrice in general, it's very interesting because I'm trying to figure out why does she want Balor to think she's the culprit? Or she's trying to get him to believe in witches so that then he could find the culprit outside the witch angle. But I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think she's really trying to get him to believe that she did it all. But I don't think she's the culprit. But I also don't think she knows who the real culprit is. That might be a bold assumption. She might know who it really is, but at the same time, by the way this script is going so far, it gets me to thinking Beatrice herself doesn't even know who the culprit is. So she's just saying, oh, I did it. Because she flat out doesn't know herself. And she's trying to figure out who was the real culprit because, well, she doesn't know. She actually doesn't know who the real culprit is. Maybe, yeah, that was just something that popped into my head. Basically, this might have been confusing to, hear my mind process right now, but this is where my mind's at. Like, I basically spoke from what I was thinking. Because I'm thinking Beatrice may or may not even know who's the one responsible for all this.
その通りよ。そなたの19人目で全てを説明する一手は、それが破られた時、18人でしか説明できないことを認めざるを得ないリスクを背負っている。
Mind. I see. Hempel's Raven. So, this is a countering technique? Wait, if I really think about it, this countering technique is far more disadvantageous for me than for her. The problem is in thinking about it like a cookie. If I imagine that just one of the treasure chests is a losing chest with a bomb in it, I can begin to understand it quite well. And if I think of it not as 2 treasure chests, but as 18, 1 for each person, plus 1 more for the 19th person, for a total of 19 boxes, it gets even easier to understand. First of all, one of the premises established by the human culprit theory was that the bomb would definitely be in one of those boxes. because I hadn't wanted to place that bomb in any of the 18's boxes, I had used the devil's proof and created the 19th box so that I could throw the bomb in there. That much was alright. But Beato had struck back like this. If, then, the 19th box was empty inside, that would automatically mean that the bomb was set in one of the other 18 boxes. If I could examine the contents of each of the 18's boxes and show that the bomb was not in any one of those boxes, I would be able to safely show that the 18 people were innocent. If that was possible, I would be feeling confident. However, in reality, that's as close as you can get to impossible. The police wouldn't come here in this typhoon. There would be no scientific investigations, no autopsies, no nothing. In short, I can't show anything decisively. It's impossible for me to give any proof other than simply gulping down whatever alibis each of the 18 give. In that case, I have to confirm their innocence both personally and perfectly. Like staying with someone the whole time, never letting them out of my sight for a second. If I do that, I can probably be sure of that person's innocence. And that the bomb is not in that box. However, in reality, something like that is impossible. In other words, I have to expend an incredible effort just to check the contents of one box. And there are 18 of them! In other words, unless I bind all 18 of them in chains and watch over them, it's impossible to prove that all of them have empty boxes. However, Beato only has to open one box, the 19th box, and show that it is empty to prove that the bomb is in one of the other 18 boxes. Furthermore, there's no need for her to show which of the 18 boxes has the bomb. I have 18 times more work to do to explain my pet theory than Beato does for hers. Damn.
世の中には悪魔の証明がそうであるように
Close my heart.
反論に膨大な手間がかかり事実上不可能であるケースが少なくない。しかしヘンペルのカラスはその問題を逆手に取り容易に実証することを可能とする。
ヘンペルのカラスを使えばさまざまな暴論が実証可能なのです。例えば私以外の人間イコール愚かであるという命題があったとします。これを証明するには本来私を除く全人類を調べ愚かであることを証明しなければなりません。
You know, that is not really that hard to prove. I don't think that's really that hard to prove.
しかし何十億人も調べるなど現実には不可能でしょう。
Challenge accepted.
マトラ様の18箱を開ける手間と全く同じです。
しかしヘンペルのカラスならばその命題は待遇的にこう変換される。つまり私以外の人間イコール愚かであるをそなた風に言うならばチェス盤をひっくり返し愚かではないイコール私として証明してもよいということだ。つまりどういうことだと思う？わらわが聡明であるという事実を知るだけで全人類は愚かであることの何十億人分もの証明が直ちに終了してしまうわけだ。全人類がわらわよりも愚かであることをわずか1秒もかけずに証明終了できる。世界最強最速の QED。こ これぞヘンペルのカラス。
なんつう暴論だよ。
これはとてもとても便利な一手ですよ。
Indeed.
悪魔どころか神々も好む一手です。
Did you just prove the existence that there's both? Well, okay, if there's demons, there's gotta be gods in this world, so yeah. If there is demons, there's gotta be gods.
幸福であるイコール神のしもべを命題とするとき、待遇は神のしもべでない人間イコール幸福であってはいけないとなります。つまり神のしもべがその加護によって幸福であることを実証するためには、その加護を受けぬ人々が不幸であることを実証すればいいわけです。そして彼らは自らの神を信じない人々を不幸に突き落とすことで自らの幸福を実証する。
人に幸福を与えるには莫大なコストがかかる。しかし人を不幸にするのに必要なコストははるかに安上がりだ。つまりヘンペルのカラスを使えば神々は実に低コストで信者に加護の喜びを与えられるわけよ。
悪魔だ。悪魔の理論だ。めちゃくちゃだ。
話がそれてしまったようだな。そろそろ話を戻そうぞ。わらわの反撃の一手は以上だ。そなたの19人目が犯人だから18人は無実で魔女も存在しないへの反撃は、ならば19人目が犯人でないことを証明できたら18人か魔女のどちらかが犯人ということで確定するぞとの確認だ。
For a while, I just stood there, shocked, completely forgetting to close my mouth. Just when I thought that I got my own back on them by using their favorite move against them. The counterattack to that had been this reckless argument that I could not even have begun to imagine. Was it really impossible to continue denying the witch on an island with no more than 18 people, and yet still believe in the innocence of those 18 people? Was that just a delusion? Yes! Was I just trying to escape reality? Yes! Oh my god, Balor, you're such an idiot. Not yet. Don't give up the struggle yet. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? Let's just, you know what? Let's just think in the mind of Balor. If I prove that it's not one of the 18, and it's that 19th person, what would I do to someone who keeps on denying it? Well, I would shove it in their face, so if Balor turns out to be right at the end of these 8 games, well, I guess I gotta sit in the shame of having Balor be the one to beat me. I don't know if that's shameful or not. That might be shameful, coming from how he's kind of a doofus in the previous game. From the previous game, he's been a slight doofus. So, if he is proven to be right in some magnificent way, I'm gonna be shocked because I full on believe it's an 18th person. But if Balor somehow becomes right in that it is an actual fucking 19th person, I'm gonna be so ashamed. I'm gonna be so freaking ashamed. Oh my god. I kind of do want to see how Balor can turn this around in the next 5 games, but I still have low beliefs that he's right. But if he is right, I'll need to think of a suitable punishment for myself for doubting him. Because I am doubting Valor. Not yet. Don't give up the struggle yet. Who cares about whoever's raving? They're just trying to speak in riddles by bringing up some weird bits of trivia. I had used the devil's proof. Don't feel doubt in something once you use it. Believe in the spirit you've lunged forward with. Apply even more force. And gouge it in!
まだまだ序盤だぞ。この程度で長考するつもりか？
Yes.
いや待て、確認するぞ。
Suspicion. Here we go.
確かに俺は、わかりやすく19人目という言い方をしたが、悪魔の証明によって18人以上人間を増やせるなら、それは10人いるか100人いるかもわからない。不特定多数ということだ。
Oh yeah, I forgot about that argument.
お前が想定する人数より常に一人多い。わかるか？
She had returned my twisted logic with something even more twisted. So, the only thing that could counter that would be even crazier twisted logic.
なるほど。わらわが19人目のアリバイを何らかの方法で証明したとしても、その瞬間にそなたは20人目を生み出し犯人だと主張する。
This is such a stupid move, okay? I'm sorry, Valen, but this is such a stupid move!
これを無限に繰り返すことによって、わらわは永遠に彼らのアリバイの証明が終えられないというわけか。なるほどなるほど。さながらイナゴの大群を呼び出す魔王よな。さすがは金蔵の孫よ。
This move is so stupid that I'm upset that it's working.
召喚術の才能には恵まれていると見える。
Well, will it work? Is it so stupid that it can actually work?
つまり、18人以外の存在 X は、常にアリバイを証明することが不可能なんだ。どうだ、ベアト。ヘリクス合戦だと分かれば、俺も負けねえぜ。
愚かしいぞ。わらわを誰と心得る。わらわこそは無限の魔女。そのわらわに無限にて挑むとは片払いたいわ。無限を操ることはつまり無限を殺すこともできるということ。わらわが19人目を切れば、そなたは20人目を呼び、20人目を切れば21人目を呼び、21人目を切れば22人目を切れば、23人目を呼び34人目を呼び、6計4358兆2235億7967万3204人目を呼び。
I was able to follow that big number. I was able to follow Beatrice as she was saying that entire last number. Oh my god.
わらわを永遠に翻弄で生きるとでも？
Yes.
無限交代とは笑わせる。わらわに無限は通じぬわ。
ほう。ならばどうやってこの俺の無限を殺すんだよ。見せてみろよ。
Well, did you just attack me?
わらわには真実を赤で語る力があろうが。
There it is! Organ short 600 million in C minor. Here it is. We're finally getting to the red text.
来やがったな。
わらわが赤で語るとき、そこには一切の幻想がない。わらわがこの島には100人しかいないと一言赤で語れば、そなたにはもはや101人目を生み出すことはかなわぬのだ。
Can you make decibel people? Can you make decibels?
ほーらバトラ、今度はどんな真実を赤で語ってみせようか。どんな拠り所を叩き切ってそなたを絶望に突き落としてやろうか。そら、いつもの怯えた顔を見せてみるがいい。なに？
Oh?
そなた、笑うか。
Close my heart. I wonder what kind of creepy look I had on my face as I laughed right at them. Let me repeat that. I read that as not then. I wonder what kind of creepy look I had on my face as I laughed right then. That red sure is scary. Every time it jumps out, I'm driven into the depths of hopelessness. But I had already realized it. There was no need to be unnecessarily afraid of the red.
また抜きやがったな。殿下の宝刀だ。
Oh?
それで今度はベアトリーチェ様は何をどう赤で語ってくださるってんだ。
ほう、それはどういう意味か。急に余裕を見せよって。
悪いが、その真っ赤な宝刀は俺も抜いてくれるのを待ってたんだ。さて、お前は今度は何を赤で宣言してくれるんだ。犯人は18人の中にいるとでも言ってくれるのか。言っとくが、そいつは自爆だぜ。その時点でお前は魔女説を自ら捨てたも同然。まさに盗猟だ。
That's right. The red isn't always necessarily to Beato's advantage. On the contrary, if she used it the wrong way, it's dangerous enough that she could bring about her own death. If she used it carelessly and said something which ended up denying herself, that would be exactly the same thing as self-destructing.
確かに俺にとっても18人の中に犯人がいると赤で言われることは受け入れたくない悲しい事実だ。たとえ誰が犯人であっても俺はきっと辛い気持ちになるだろうぜ。だがそれはそれ以前にお前の敗北も意味する。人間が犯人だとお前が赤で語ることはお前の投了宣言にも等しい。お前が俺と差し違えても相打ちにしたいってんならそれも面白い一手だろうぜ。だがこの勝負は俺の勝ちで終わる。
Beatrice's red was truly her secret weapon, her treasured blade. The things she spoke in red would become solidified as the truth, and no amount of evidence or counter-arguments could change them. They had cut me down to size many times now, running into any support my heart had to lean on. However, if she used it carelessly, then I could find a little information about the truth. In the last game, especially during the chapel's locker room trick, I had taken advantage of that, and had once closed her in almost completely. But she was also pretty sly. She had learned from experience, and since then, had started using discretion in the timing of the red. This feeling of tension was almost literally like a battle with real swords. This was a battle of high intelligence. No, not of intelligence. It really was twisted logic. This was the world's craziest and worst battle of twisted logic.
さあ、今度はお前の出番だぜ。そうさ、お前のヘンペルのカラスを使うには、まず、18人以外に何人の人間がいるのかを赤で確定させる必要がある。その上で、それらの人間について、さらに赤で犯人でないことを宣言したならば、なるほど。こいつは俺にとって致命傷になるだろうぜ。
あれほど怯えていた赤を、もはやみじんも怯えぬとはな。
She's stuck.
たくましいやつよ。
抜いてみろよ。殿下の宝刀。バッサリ決まって、今度こそ俺を屈服できるかもしれねえぜ。
面白い。こうでなくてはな。
Agitate her. Provoke her. Drive her into a corner to make her speak in red. Of course, her red has always cut through my only threads of hope. But don't be afraid of that. On this island overcome with falsehoods and illusions, the only thing I can trust is the information that she speaks in red. It is my only way across the chasm of hell. Just a single tight rope. Her merciless, blood-red blade is the only way I can survive. This isn't just walking on a tightrope. It's literally like walking on the edge of a blade. Of course I'm afraid. In terms of her contrapositive, my victory condition, the denial of the witch, meant that the culprit was a human. But I didn't want to search for the culprit amid the 18. Therefore, I held on to a weak point, since I had to deny the witch and the 18 at the same time. Since I had been unable to understand that last time, that was where she had hit me, leaving me tattered and defeated. But that's alright. Let her hit me. Let her attack. No problem. Someone said it once in an old sword-fighting movie that a good fortress has one, and only one, intentionally weak point. The enemy would gather there. They would be lured there. And that would be where the actual battle took place. As long as I can understand my weak points, and as long as she wants to attack those weak points, it's as if I induce her to attack there. Carefully judge the distance from your enemy, and retreat step by step. Make them draw their sword first. The more she recklessly flourishes that red, the more chances I'll have to strike back. Don't be afraid of the red. Keep the pressure on, so that she is forced to refute with the red. No matter how oppressively she speaks in red. Yes, that red itself is the same as fresh blood spurting from her wounds.
さあ、どうしたよ。まずはこの島に合計で何人いるのか赤で語ってもらおうじゃねえか。さもないとお前のカラスは俺に切り込めないぜ。
破れかぶれがこうもやりにくいとは。捨て身というやつはいつの時代も侮れんな。やはり金蔵の孫か。追い詰められれば追い詰められるほどに不敵。
Ronove cleared his throat.
膠着しましたね。 せっかくの紅茶も冷めてしまいますよ、お嬢様。
Ronove, who was supposed to be our ally, roguishly rushed her next move. Beato smiled back, probably intending to demonstrate that she was still relaxed. But she couldn't hide the sweat building up on her forehead. Ronove, I don't think you're working with Beatrice. I think you're trying to trick her, or, go against her in some way. I don't believe you're on Beatrice's side. By now, she had completely lost that relaxedness, which had allowed her to turn her nose up at her worthless opponent. Of course, she probably wasn't really cornered by something like this. She was just being cautious. Until now, I had been inexperienced. I didn't have a good grasp on how to fight, and I was underpowered as an opponent. However, now that we had reached the third game, she realized that I was starting to become skilled. And she had grown more cautious, thinking every move over carefully. Sure, that's just fine, Beatrice. And sorry to have kept you waiting. Are you happy now?
面白くなってきたぜ。
Indeed.
バトラー。
拉致が開かねえな。なら、ズバッと気持ちよく、いつものやつで行こうじゃねえか。
ほう。いつものやつとな。ならば頼もうではないか。あれを聞かぬと、やはり始まった気がせぬわ。
The first move was mine.
行くぜ、ベアト。副将要求。
Dread of the Grave!
この島には18人しかいない。こいつを赤で言われちまったら、俺は18人の誰かを疑わざるを得ない。19人目の仕業にはもうできず、八方塞がりさ。だが、俺は18人の中に犯人が絶対にいないと信じてる。あんな残酷な殺人を18人の誰にも起こせるものか。繰り返すぞ。副将要求。この島には18人しかいない。
拒否する。
This could help me with my theory of Beatrice doesn't know who the actual culprit is, so she can't tell whether or not there's 18 people on the island or not. This does help my slight theory that Beatrice doesn't know who it is herself.
理由は明かさない。
Woo! I had avoided what would have been the worst threat for me. If she had repeated that, I would have been faced with those two worst choices of accepting the witch or suspecting one of the 18. Like last time all over again. But Beato had not proclaimed my ultimate and greatest weakness in red. She had declined to repeat it, even though there was no reason why she shouldn't have struck. Even though it was a weakness she should have been drilling at. She hadn't sliced me up with red by using that move, which should have been as good as forking a rook in the king. This was a big sign of my advantage. That's right. The culprit isn't one of the 18 people. I won't doubt anyone. And since the culprit isn't a witch either, it means that a 19th person exists on this island. And that's you. A person who, as grandfather's mistress of 30 years, has been living secretly in a hidden mansion in the forest for a long time. The human Beatrice.
そうさ。 お前は魔女なんかじゃない。この島に何十年も隠れ住んできたただの人間なんだ。
千年を経た無限の魔女のわらわをただの人間呼ばわりしたか。
For a while, Beatrice continued to laugh unpleasantly, gloating or maybe spitefully.
いいか、続けるぜ。続けて副賞要求。この島には19人以上がいる。
Beatrice fell silent once again. The feeling that confirming the number of humans on this island might possibly stand to give her some large disadvantage was probably making her extremely cautious. The red had already become a foothold for my counterattack. With that in mind, the red had become a risk for the witch. But if she couldn't repeat this, her Hempel's raven wouldn't work. In order to break my devil's proof, first, the existence of a number of people outside the AT needs to be confirmed in red. That's right. She couldn't break the existence of a 19th person unless she used red. I had closed Beato in, giving her no choice but to speak in red. There really was a way to fight in this witch's game.
拒否してもいいんだぜ。お前が赤で言えないなら、この島の合計人数は18プラス X ってことになる。この X は初手で許すには相当でかい大駒だぜ。何しろ以後18人の誰にも不可能だったという根拠のトリックは全て18人以外の人間 X で説明可能になる。全員アリバイ系の密室を全て打ち破れる大駒だ。
It was like a bishop in chess, which can cut a thin line through enemy forces as long as there's a slight gap. It only exerts an effect over squares of the same color, but it has a great ability to control the board. It looked like Beato also well understood her current plight. She couldn't just let an important piece go, especially this close to the beginning of the game. If she pulled out her red treasured sword, it wouldn't be that difficult to save that piece. But Beato was completely aware that I was expecting it. She was afraid that a careless red truth might end up strangling her own neck. Because, in the first place, a witch was something which should be denied in red. Believe. Don't doubt. Witches don't exist. Something like that can't exist in this world. They can only exist in the cracks in reality. They are a fragile existence, curled up in these cracks, frantically trying to protect themselves from the brutal winds of truth. And they can only exist like a mirage by surviving on falsehoods and fantasy. In other words, the red, which only witches can use, is the very reality by which they can... In other words, the red, which only witches can use, is the very reality by which they risk denying themselves. The more they brandish their red swords, the more they begin to lose, bit by bit, that crack in reality which they can endure. That is why they don't want, through the red, to carelessly lose that crack in reality, which is based on fuzzy information, or in other words, fantasy. Because they understand that they would be gradually cornering themselves. Of course, she would never admit it. Because if she did, it would be the same as admitting that she is something that can't exist in this world. Like an imaginary number. Don't be afraid. Stay strong. She knows this deep down, and better than anyone, that her red treasure sword can't easily be used without considerable resolve.
どうしたよ。繰り返すぜ。副将要件。この島には19人以上がいる。
拒否する。
At the end of a long time spent deliberating, letting a single deep breath escape, she quietly proclaimed her refusal. I had thought that she'd use it, but Beato refused to speak in red, even though it would cost her victory in the opening part of the game.
拒否したな。ということは今後、俺は18人以外の架空人物 X を何人でも使い放題ってことになるぜ。
好きにするがよい。わらわはそなたの副将を拒否した。今はそれで十分であろう。拒否の理由は、いや、今はまだ明かされない。いずれすぐにわかる。
もったいぶりやがってよ。
あえて使わぬ赤もまた赤らしい使い方よ。そなたは赤き宝刀と呼んだな。愉快な例えよ。わらわも使おう。宝刀は抜かぬうちが花よ。むしろ抜かぬことによって醸せる畏怖というものもある。
そうだな。俺はお前がいつ赤でひっくり返してくるか常に念頭に置いて戦わなければならない。こいつはえれえプレッシャーだ。それに副将を拒否される方が辛い場合もある。何しろ俺の読みが正しいから拒否できないのか、ミスリードにはまって泳がされてるのか区別がつかないからな。そういう意味ではなるほど抜かずの宝刀ってわけだ。
I'm gonna have to reset my camera real quick because I'm about to go over the time limit, so I'm sorry, and I'm back!
なあ、同じ突き落とすなら少しでも高いところに行かせてからに限る。まだ始まったばかり。まだまだな。この勝負は今淡き勝利にもよえ。
I'll resign from this challenge. Go and get drunk on your fake victory for now.
今はね。
Damn, that was good. That was good. Wow, that scared me. I can't believe that scared me. This is a scene transition too. I can't. Oh no. Okay. Okay, there we go. That bitter comment did, in fact, appear to have marked the end of the game's opening battle. Even so, I couldn't relax my guard at all. I was unable to relax my feeling of tension until I was greeted by the sound of Ronove's applause.
お見事です、バトラ様。まずは序盤はバトラ様有利の展開でスタートというところでしょうか。
さあな。この駒が俺の手でもぎ取ったものなのか取るよう誘導されたものかはまだわからねえな。どうせお前のことだ。俺が罠にはまり始めてるのを知ってて白々しく拍手をしてるんだろ。
まさか。序盤とはいえお嬢様より一本を奪った手腕を 純粋に祝福いたしております。何しろお嬢様はすぐ増長するお方。たまにはこのような刺激も良い薬かと思いますよ。
お前んとこの執事、ほんと口悪いな。
であろう？たまにわらわでもカチンとくるぞ。
それは大変に失礼いたしました。さあお嬢様にバトラー様、紅茶のおかわりはいかがですかな。まだゲームは始まったばかりでございます。ゲームを彩るお茶とお菓子はどうかこの私めにお任せを。どうぞお気兼ねなくゲームをお進めになってください。
そうさせてもらう。先を進めるぜ。これからが本番だ。
よかろう。時計を進めようではないか。ロノウェ、紅茶を頼む。
Here we go.
かしこまりました。クッキーはい
らぬ。ベルゼブブにあれば喜ぼう。しばし沈黙せよ。
While listening to the sound of the demon butler pouring tea, the witch closed her eyes slightly and fell into silence. For some time, she was deeply lost in thought, but eventually a roguish glint came to her eyes. Into her eyes.
よかろう。
The candles dance!
わらわがどうして初手にて赤で語るのを拒否したのか。
何？
Shit! I did it again! I'm so sorry, I did it again.
よかろう。わらわがどうして初手にて赤で語るのを拒否したのか。よかろう。わらわがどうして初手にて赤で語るのを拒否したのか。今より分からせてやろうぞ。
I forgot the ema. Okay. Well now, let's get back to where we were. Nani?
上等じゃねえかよ。お手並み拝見と行くぜ。
やはり見逃すには惜しい大駒よ。拙速かもしれぬが動かせてもらおう。赤は使わぬが今よりそれをわらわに代わってローザが説明する。
Huh?
聞くがよい。
Oh, here we go. So, okay, this is gonna be interesting. What is Rosa gonna say? Here we go.
もちろん私も同意よ。
Back to the adults.
ローザもそうでしょ。ローザ？
ごめんなさい。私も同じよ。同意するわ。
どうしたんや、ローザさん。あんたさっきからずいぶんおとなしいな。体調でも悪いんとちゃうか？
From the beginning, Rosa had never been one to willingly cut in on the siblings' fights. But even so, she seemed unmotivated, and had said almost nothing at all during this night's conference. The whole time, she had been hanging her head, and appeared to be thinking of something else.
あんたさっきからぼんやりしてるわよ。そんなので遺産が守れると思ってるの？あんたも一児の母なんだから、もっとしっかりなさいよ。
ごめんなさい。
朝がだいぶ早かったんじゃないかね。体調が悪いなら無理をしない方がいいだろう。
客室にベッドの用意がありますよ。お休みになってはいかがですか。ご案内しますよ。
いえ、大丈夫です。ありがとう。
どうしたんだ。何か心配事でもあるのか。
いえ、別に。
そう？さっきからずっと心ここにあらずという感じよ。そしてそれは今私たちがしている議題と何か関係があるんじゃないかしら。
At those words, everyone stared at Rosa together. As if in response, Rosa's shoulders quivered. Apparently, Kyrie's guess hadn't been wrong. Nor did Rosa deny it.
いえ、
She swallowed whatever it was she had been about to say, and went silent again. By now, even the other siblings were also beginning to realize that something about her demeanor was different than usual.
どうしたんだ。さっきからおかしいぞ。何か思うことでもあるのか。
わしら全員で団結しようって誓い合ったばかりやないか。一人で悩むなんて水臭い話やで。話したってな。
ローザ、話しなさい。
Pressed by the men, one after the other, Rosa made up her mind, and nervously began to open up. It was almost as though she was trying to confess to some modest prank which had inadvertently brought out a... 1 second. It was almost as though she was trying to confess to some modest prank which had inadvertently brought about a serious situation. Such was the atmosphere in the room.
いえ、ベアトリーチェっていうお父様の愛人って本当に生きてるのかしらって思って。
はあ？そりゃ生きてるに決まってるでしょう。こうして手紙を送ってくるぐらいだもの。
元気かどうかは別の問題だろうけどな。肖像画の美女も今じゃきっといいお年だろうぜ。
元気やと思うで。金のことで悪知恵働くやつは決まっていくつになっても元気や。案外悪巧みは最高の回春剤かもしらへんで。
生きてるはずないの。
今なんて。
ベアトリーチェは死んでるのよ。
The Witch of the Painting.
私が殺した。
What? Wait, what the fuck?
なんだって。
どういうことよ、ローザ。
でも私が殺したわけじゃ。でも私があんなところに連れ出したから、やっぱり私が殺したのよ。あれは夢だと思い込もうとしたのよ。
Wait, is this the explanation why she was so scared of witches? Wait, what the fuck is happening here?
でもやっぱりあれは夢じゃなかったのよ。だからこれはベアトリーチェの俺からの手紙なのよ。
It was so sudden that everyone was lost for words. Rosa kept on talking, unable to stop, holding her head as her hair flew all about.
どうか落ち着いて。ローザさん。
わしには何が何やらさっぱりや。もう死んどる？どういう意味なんや。
2つの意味があると思うわ。まず1つ目は言葉通りの意味、そしてもう1つは私たちの想像が正しかったことを裏付けるもの。
ということはローザはベアトリーチェに会ったことがあるというのか。
そんな話ローザの口からは一度も聞いたことがないわ。ローザ、いつよ。あなたは一体いつベアトリーチェに会ったのよ。
昔よ、ずっと昔よ。まだこの島に引っ越してきたばかりで私は幼かった。私は悪くないの。私が殺したわけじゃ。
落ち着け。誰もお前を責めちゃいねえぜ。まずは水でも飲め。夏日さん、水差しを頼む。
はい。どうぞローザさん、どうか落ち着いて。
And we're gonna get the shot to the end right here, aren't we? No, it's not ending. Okay, good. I thought it was gonna end on a cliffhanger. Until Rosa was able to regain her calm and miss her ragged breathing, no one was able to speak a word. No, we're gonna end on a cliffhanger. Oh my god! I was one line off, and we did end on a cliffhanger. I knew right before Rosa revealed the truth. Rosa and the Witch of the Forest. Next episode's gonna be interesting. White Shadow. Oh, wait, we're back to the mansion from the beginning of the game. That's the mansion from the beginning of the game, isn't it? Beatrice's mansion? The mansion where a young Beatrice was, I think? Ah.
ベアトリーチェ。
Okay, I'm gonna save this all for next time. I am absolutely confused at what's going on. I am confused at what's going on. My mind's all over the place ever since Rosa made that proclamation. I don't have a theory for that in this video. I don't have one, so I guess I'll just end this video off with an ending. Yeah, I don't think I've done an ending for Umineko in a while, so thank you!
Okay.